So the game that isn't a game, just simply a smoke and mirrors con made by developers cashing in on a desire to have a fully open world sandbox survival game in the vein of The Last of Us and The Division. Yes, of course I'm talking about the day before, and as you can see they've got a brand new teaser trailer as well as an extensive interview with an Australian outlet. So I'm going to go through some of the key things you need to know and up to you to decide, again, if this game is really going to be able to live up to the hype.
Ready for November 10th.
So let's cut to the end of the interview first because it's got the most crucial information. It does look like there won't be an early access period for the day before. It is going to be a full release and it will only be launching on PC first. They have plans to come to console, but they're not going to announce them plans until it's launched on PC, but they are going to have a closed beta. Now we've seen lots of that info floating around in different various means, but to really reiterate it again, and the crux that there is no early access, that is something maybe new. They state they're going to have a full roadmap with lots of updates, plans, yada yada yada, but this will not be an early access title. If expectations weren't raised before, they surely will be now, not early access. That means your game's got to be in a fantastic state. I don't think people are going to put up with a bug-ridden mess as we've seen from so many failed launches. It's maybe not too surprising to players, as you've been following the development, you might not have seen too much base rating and stuff going on. That's because they're going to be taking the same sort of line as Grand Theft Auto, hence the snazzy car in the trailer. That's because you're going to have places to live that you can customize but not raid. Again, this isn't too unexpected if you've been following it closely, but I still think there's probably a contingent of players that might have expected traditional base raiding like in Rust or other games. But nope, it's going to be a simple case of you having a home somewhere, maybe in the city or in the colony, and yeah, no one will be able to attack it. Instead, it's going to focus on skirmishes between you and players while you're out in the world. Even more comparisons to immersive Sims and obviously GTA Online, you're going to have jobs, and the jobs could be pretty mundane. Couple of examples they're using as potential jobs: how about being a loader of, I guess, goods, i.e. an Amazon worker, or maybe even a singer. Guessing that we'll be earning currency that we'll then can use to go and buy and customize our home, or maybe get goods to give us a little bit of a head start, and of course get ready with gear while we're exploring and fighting the zombies and other players. If that all sounds like too much work, don't worry, you can relax in the sauna. Now this is something they've shown off in clips before, but this is a new, slightly longer trailer with a different kind of viewpoint, and basically places to congress with other players. I don't mind this as much. You see it in Destiny and other games. It's pretty bog standard at this point for any kind of shooter MMO, normal MMO, to have a village, to have somewhere where you can see other players. The one interesting thing here is though that apparently if you spend time in the gym, it may affect your in-game fitness, and that is pretty cool. If they go down the route of GTA 3 or GTA San Andreas I should say, then yes, if actually doing activities increases stuff that can give you real world benefits, I'm totally down for hanging out in a sweaty pool of water with 20 other players. Still no firm answer about how many players you can expect to see on a server, just literally a bunch of fluff given to the interviewer when asked. Again, being fair, that's not too uncommon given so many other games keep that to themselves fairly close to launch. They're asked about different choices in zombies attacking you, and they actually say that the zombies aren't the main part of the game, it's all about your interactions with other players. So maybe putting expectations in place. If you was hoping to see different varieties of zombies in the game, bloaters, runners, etc. from like The Last of Us, maybe forget about it. There is going to be some element of story, but maybe not necessarily loads of quests and missions. There will be some underlying story achievements that will help humanity, but it is more of an open sandbox where you'll be expected to just go and find the story yourself. They reference the Azure Initiative, something they've revealed before, which is effectively the corporate evil guys in the game, controlling power and other aspects, and I'm guessing there'll be some sort of rise up against them as we follow the breadcrumbs through. And that's really it. Lots of things reconfirmed again, but maybe over time some of that stuff has been lost, so it's good at least to see some of this. They do get asked a few harder questions, talking about maybe the idea of them not being big enough studio or being able to cope with a project this big, and they carry on just with the waffle that Mytona, their publisher, and all their people that are helping them, that they are going to achieve this. They also get asked about their inspiration behind certain things, obviously having lifted directly it seems from games like The Last of Us, Call of Duty and more, and they reference that lots of games have almost been like mentors to them as they combine not only stuff from other games but real world experiences with a whole dose of cheese that I'm not going to try and make your eardrums bleed with. And they do address the controversy of the Steam not basically appearing on the charts anymore, as they're still involved in a legal dispute with a calendar app company that basically has trademarked the day before them. They still claim they still have got the game rights in the right way, and it's their idea to have the game called that way before this calendar app, and they're pursuing it in the New Zealand courts. That the game will return to the top of the Steam charts as soon as it's put back on, and I hope to conclude that soon. And finally, addressing more of the stuff about the unpaid volunteers. If you don't know, there are reports of people basically doing the jobs of developers for the game and not getting any kind of remuneration. Now, this is something I'd seen a lot of other press talk about this, and wondering, wow, you guys really haven't been following a lot of mid to sort of larger size games lately, because it's rampant. There are so many games out there with quite big publishers behind them offering or asking for help with translation from their players. It's not that uncommon at all, especially for even smaller indie games, of course, but yeah, bigger games too. So that's what Fantastic pretty much put it down to, that their unpaid volunteers, which there are about 300 of them possibly, have been contributed in different ways, and they actually like doing the job, and it's something they would be doing anyway, yada yada yada. If some bozo's sitting on Discord all day and he's got nothing much to do other than just sit and chat in lots of games Discords, then why not get him to do a bit of bug testing? They did clarify they do have some paid volunteers, but yeah, we'll have to see really deeper about some of these reports about exactly what these unpaid volunteers are doing. But I don't think it's as bad as some people think or assume. There are just lots of people out there that have got free time on their hands and really want to just contribute or help because they think they're going to get a free game key or maybe early access to something. It's no different than I've seen in a whole ton of other survival games over the years. So there we go. I try to keep it nice and short and concise, cut out all the cheese and the long-winded marketing speak. Do I believe that this game is real? Do I believe it's going to actually come out and actually be successful? I'm literally sitting here with my fingers, my pinkies, everything you could think of crossed and hoping so. But in my heart, I just said so much evil. There's so much shenanigans. There's so much dishonesty. And I just don't know if this game's going to really ever live up to anyone's expectations at this point. It's become a meme. It's become a huge joke. It would be amazing if it could prove everyone wrong, and it's just been a case of translation mix-ups and just inexperience and of course delays that happen, but because they hyped everything up, it's been examined a lot more. I want to believe. Until then, I will carry on reporting what we actually find out along the way. As soon as I get news about closed beta, I'll be the first to tell you guys, and yeah, let's see what happens with the day before in the future.